Arsenal have made a statement, smashing 5 goals past Leeds United on a day where a former star boy returned. So today let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things that we learned. We'll break down the performance of Victor Gyokeres, as well as discussing that Max Dowman cameo. We'll talk about how Mikel Arteta's team is evolving, as well as getting the intriguing details behind the arrival of Eberechi Eze. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to Boys channel, and you have to be doing sensationally, especially after a 5-0 victory in our second game of the season. Arsenal are back top of the Premier League. So as per, smash a like on this video if you do enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with what we learned from Arsenal 5 Leeds United in a game that had so much excitement going into it. Not only a Premier League home debut for Victor Gyokeres, but also a chance to unveil a brand new sign. As confirmed before the game, Eberechi Eze will be presented as an Arsenal player on the Emirates Stadium pitch before kickoff. And after all the hype of him walking out and the smile on his face, it was time for Arsenal to put in a performance, as Mikel Arteta went for a very strong lineup, Urian Timber coming in a right back, as well as a first ever start for Nonu Madueke on the left hand side. The first 20 minutes were very hit and miss. Despite Arsenal conceding a 0.00 XG against, there was a lack of flow, there was a lack of rhythm, with no real urgency to get the ball into the final third. There was a sense that Arsenal were playing way too safe, waiting for something to go their way. Of course that would come from a set piece. So the first point has to be about Urian Timber, as Arsenal scored from their first corner of the game, having now scored in back-to-back league games as well. It was a corner that Arsenal used the aura of Gabriel Magalhaes, attracting 3 players toward him to give Timber the space, able to find a lovely glancing header. This performance was a reminder to most Arsenal fans, the ones that were leaving him out of the predicted starting 11s, as Timber dropped a 10 out of 10 SofaScore rating, with 2 goals and 1 assist, as well as 2 interceptions, 4 tackles, 4 ground duels won and 2 aerial duels won. This was quite literally a masterclass. A fullback not only solid defensively, but also very impactful going forwards, with a perfect example being his assist for Bukayo Saka, playing on the front foot and seeing the pass in behind, as well as releasing the ball with the perfect weight of pass. As Timber said after the game, a nice first home game of the season. You felt the energy of the crowd. The team played really well. Clean sheets again is also very important. A special day, scoring 2 times and assisting as well. I am going to enjoy this. For a fullback that was impressive in his cameo against Manchester United, then puts out a 10 out of 10 performance. As Arsenal fans, we have to remind ourselves, despite this being his 3rd official year, the first year doesn't count because of the ACL injury. Last year was meant to be his recovery, yet we still saw a very high level. This is the first time that Timber is going into a season, not only with Premier League experience, but also with a level of full fitness. So if we're talking about importance of Arsenal players, despite Timber getting always put to one side, becoming a very underrated player in the Arsenal fanbase, I think it's about time we give my boy some respect. Not only has he always been reliable, but this game was an example of his excellence going forwards. And he wasn't the only one thriving as well. Focus on the left hand side on Ricardo Calafiori, a fullback that dropped a 7.3 SofaScore rating, with 2 assists and 1 block shot. I want you guys to focus on his heat map, because you'll notice a very clear change in his style. Where in previous iterations of Mikel Arteta's team, the fullback has always been inverted, Calafiori is given a far more free-flowing role, allowed to get down the left-hand side and hold the width as well. With the whole idea of Arsenal getting an extra level of dynamism on that left-hand side, not only does it help Nonu Madueke or Gabriel Martinelli, Arsenal at times have an extra man in the attacking third. For Calafiori himself, after an opening day goal at Old Trafford, to now get 2 assists as well, making it a total of 3 goal involvements. For as exciting as a talent as Miles Lewis-Skelly is, Ricardo Calafiori's profile is a bit more unicorn in the fact that he is so comfortable going forwards. Even if you focus on the Victor Gyokeres, not only does Calafiori play the pass, but he also ends up being in a centre forward position. Name me a fullback in world football that has that level of freedom. You're talking Achraf Hakimi and Nuno Mensch, 2 of the very best fullbacks in the world. Mikel Arteta has looked at Luis Enrique's tactics clearly and taken massive inspiration. The second thing that we need to focus on is Arsenal's midfield duo, as Martin Zubimendi got his first ever Premier League Emirates start, dropping a 6.9 SofaScore rating, with 72 passes completed, as well as 4 ground duels won. The arrival of Zubimendi has been so important, not only offering Arsenal a player that is a master of the angles, knowing when to play a pass and how to release it, but also in getting the best out of a certain Declan Rice, a player who himself dropped an 8.2 SofaScore rating, with 1 assist, 74 touches, 63 passes, and 3 chances created as well. If you focus on Declan Rice's heat map, what you'll notice straight away, Mikel Arteta is no longer using him as a left-sided number 8, instead playing far more in a midfield pivot. Having seen the best of Rice in that exact role when thriving alongside Thomas Tuchel at West Ham, with the arrival of Zubimendi alongside Rice, Arsenal have an insane midfield partnership, because when you partner Rice's physical excellence alongside Zubimendi's eye for a pass going forwards, You get two players that are very complementary, providing Arsenal one of the very best bases in all of world football. It plays a massive part of us keeping that ball in the final third. Take for example the Bukayo Saka second goal. After a neat bit of play where Arsenal lost the ball, Rice is able to win the ball back straight away. Zubimendi finds a lovely pass to Timber, and Arsenal are in business. The third thing that we need to focus on is the arrival of Victor Gyokeres. After an opening day at Old Trafford where he was heavily scrutinised, more hair flicks and touches, oh my god, what is Gyokeres? In this game he wasn't thriving straight away, giving the ball away time and time again in the first half, struggling to adapt to a style of play that does not play to his strengths. But come the second half we saw something very special, a goal almost tailor-made by Mikel Arteta to get the best out of Victor Gyokeres. On the score sheet for the first ever time in the Premier League, pulling out his trademark celebration. In a game that he also scored his first ever brace, Gyokeres produced an 8.8 SofaScore rating, 2 goals from an XG of 1.30, with 2 shots on target and 1 off target. 1 successful dribble and 1 big chance missed. Despite only having 4 passes of the ball, it was a game where Arsenal finally started to learn. In a passage of play where Arsenal were luring Leeds into their half, passing around the back and slowing the game down, the whole idea was to open up space in behind, found by Ricardo Calafrio with a first time pass in behind, to get Gyokeres in the exact area that we saw him score so many goals at Sporting Lisbon. Because when in those areas, Gyokeres becomes very decisive, able to go on his left and right foot, running straight at his opposition and cutting inside. Even in a box full of so many players, look at how he was able to finish, smashing the ball into the back of the net. You could sense the relief around the Emirates Stadium. Not only had Arsenal's number 14 finally got his first league goal, but it was also Arsenal dispelling the myth that Gyokeres won't get space inside the Premier League. In the case of Mikel Arteta, he is learning and adapting, knowing the weapon that he has in his arsenal. The reason why Arsenal are playing around the back so much is because they want to keep the space in behind, knowing that if Arsenal are able to play that ball, he has got a striker that is lethal in those scenarios. But even after scoring a second goal of the game, a ruthless penalty smashed into the bottom left-hand corner, the celebration was very intriguing, fixing his hair while looking straight into the camera. When asked after the game if the celebration had anything to do with people saying he had more touches of his hair than the ball at Old Trafford, Gyokeres replied, "Yeah, it might be," while also saying there's always pressure. "I know I'll take my chances sooner or later. Today I took 2 and we won 5-0. It's a prime example to Arsenal fans of the type of striker they're getting. In the first half his hold-up play wasn't amazing. He was struggling to get himself into the game, but with the mindset of a player that does not give up and keeps on going, there was not a single drop-off in his head. Knowing that eventually his time was gonna come, we've got a striker that wants to prove all the doubters wrong. Scoring 2 goals in his second Premier League start goes a long way in doing that. Now let's focus on the third thing, and that is Arsenal's brand new wide forward. In a game where our star boy Bukayo Saka scored his 70th Arsenal goal, having now got 135 goals and assists in total, with 71 goals and 64 assists. 1 more Premier League goal than Gareth Bale. It was also a game he went off injured, holding his left hamstring, causing so much panic in the Arsenal fan base, but also giving Arsenal fans the prime example of why we have signed Nonu Madueke. In a game that he started on the left hand side and dropped a 6.6 SofaScore rating, despite not completing a single dribble all game, but creating 2 chances. In a matter of moments, Arsenal fans realised straight away of why a profile like Madueke was signed, a left footer able to cut in on the right hand side, while also offering Arsenal a level of directness. The same exact profile of Bukayo Saka. We know that Saka is far better, but what I saw from Madueke today was very nice. A level of positivity on the ball, of always trying to make things happen. For a player that is still only 23 years of age, the reason why Arsenal signed him in the first place was to avoid the heartbreak of 2024-25. After losing Bukayo Saka for a total of 3 months, for as impressive as Ethan Nwaneri was, to have now a player that is far more ready-made and more experienced provides Mikel Arteta a slightly more breathing room. The idea that we still have a top option off the right-hand side, even if you don't have your best player. As Mikel Arteta said after the game, we learnt our lessons from last season. We had to take him off, and it looks like something significant. But in a game where Saka wasn't the only Arsenal player to get injured, you also had the captain Martin Odegaard taken off in the first half, causing even more pain in the Arsenal fan base, but also providing an opportunity for a certain Ethan Nwaneri, coming on and playing as the Arsenal number 10, dropping a 6.8 SofaScore rating, with 26 out of 26 accurate passes, 2 out of 2 accurate long balls, and 2 out of 3 dribbles. It wasn't by any means special, but we did see a lot of positives. A player direct every time he received the ball, while also taking up the responsibility of Martin Odegaard, leading the press alongside Victor Gyokeres. Nwaneri is learning game in, game out. If the Odegaard injury is serious, you wonder how much Mikel Arteta will trust Nwaneri, a player that played all of his preseason games as a number 10, having signed a brand new Arsenal contract only in the summer. Mikel Arteta promised the minutes and it looks like he's going to get that. But now we have to focus on the 5th thing, and that is Arsenal's brand new star boy. Because at just 15 years and 234 days old, Max Stallman came on to make his Premier League debut, becoming only the 2nd youngest player in Premier League history, behind Ethan Nwaneri, but with a very clear difference in intent. While Nwaneri was given his debut after a 3-0 victory against Brentford, just making the appearance was crazy in the first place. In the case of Max Stallman, Mikel Arteta gave him 30 minutes to go and play, dropping a 7.2 SofaScore rating in his first ever Premier League appearance, with 2 out of 2 passes, 1 successful dribble, 5 ground balls won, as well as 1 penalty. Having now won 3 penalties in his last 4 Arsenal appearances, it was not a surprise whatsoever. Watching Dalman thrive every time he received the ball, while also having a level of trust from the Arsenal players to keep on finding him on that right hand side. Dalman is a player that has insane ball manipulation, with the ability to freeze the opposition defenders and then drift away just when you don't expect it. What Arsenal have on their hands is a player that's elite at winning penalties because of his quality to confuse the opposition. And how nice is it to have that when you've also got an elite penalty goal scorer, as Victor Gyokeres scored his second Arsenal goal, having now scored his last 23 penalties for club and country, 21 for Sporting Lisbon, 1 for Arsenal and 1 for Sweden. Last year Arsenal only had a matter of 2 penalties all season. With the arrival of Max Dalman as well as Eberechi Eze, Arsenal now have players that can cause chaos in the opposition box, win penalties out of nowhere, and provide Victor Gyokeres moments to go and score. So in a game where Arsenal were very dominant, an XG of 3.16, the lead is 0.17, far from perfect but still a statement. After an opening day at Old Trafford we only scored 1 goal, we got away with that result. To score 5 goals on your first Emirates game of the season give the fans a certain level of excitement. On the same day where Man City lost 2-0 at home to Tottenham, Arsenal returned to the top of the Premier League, ahead of Tottenham on goal difference, after 6 goals in their first 2 games of the season. But moving on to the latest Arsenal news, and the only place to start off is of course the arrival of our brand new number 10. Eberechi Eze is signing that came out of nowhere, as Fabrizio Romano confirmed today. All documents had been signed for Eberechi Eze to be considered an Arsenal player. Deal sealed on the player and club side with Crystal Palace. Done and completed. Then around 5 PM UK time, Arsenal dropped one of the very best announcement videos that I've ever seen, with Ian Wright alongside Eberechi Eze, with Wrighty saying, "Do you want Arsenal?" Eze saying, "Obviously," alongside the signing of "Let it all work out." It felt like the perfect announcement for the perfect player, causing a very emotional reaction in the Arsenal fan base. Tears were quite literally going down people's eyes, especially as Eze walked up to the Emirates Stadium before the game to one of the loudest roars of the night, alongside a massive smile on his face, pointing straight to the sky as he praised God. Some signings are just meant to be. For a now Arsenal player that's had such a long journey, here was Eze's very own announcement video, showing how happy the player is, as well as the journey that he's taken to get here. From being an Arsenal player in the under-9s, from signing his first ever Arsenal contract, around 5 or 6 years of age, to playing for the Arsenal under-9s, and now signing his official Arsenal contract, alongside Mikel Arteta and Andrea Berta. Arsenal have their brand new number 10, as confirmed by Ben Jacobs. Eze is joining Arsenal on a 4+ 1 year contract, £60 million plus add-ons, and he will wear the number 10. As his number suggests, he is viewed as a number 10. However, his ability to play on the left or right is seen as a plus. Arsenal were also impressed by his character and charisma on and off the pitch. They add another core England international as their 7th signing of the summer. As Mikel Arteta says, "We are absolutely delighted to bring Eberechi to Arsenal. He is a powerful and exciting player who will give us a new dimension in our attacking game. What stands out just as much as his talents and intelligence as a player is the way that he worked hard throughout his career to get to where he is today. A signing that has brought a massive smile to every Arsenal fan's face. Let's just say the way he got here was definitely very intriguing, as revealed by the Gunner blog. Before signing for Spurs, Eberechi Eze made one final phone call to Mikel Arteta to see if he can go to Arsenal. Mikel Arteta told him they have a boardroom meeting due to Kai Havertz's injury, and at the end of that meeting, Eze was told that his move to Arsenal was all but done. With even Mikel Arteta confirming after the game, "I am delighted to have him. You can see how much it means to him. I'm sure we're going to have some great moments together." With the injuries to Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard, this signing will now have extra impact. Next up, of course, for Arsenal, a trip to Anfield. You wonder if Eberechi Eze will be on the Arsenal bench, or even in the starting lineup. But with just over a week remaining of the transfer window, you've also got the official news regarding Karl Hein joining Bundesliga side Werder Bremen on a season-long loan. It looks like Arsenal are still going to be very busy. So in terms of the future of Jakub Kiwior, according to Hand of Arsenal, Kiwior is still insisting on if he is to leave, his preference is to leave the Premier League, with Mark Guehi being recently discussed internally again, but game time is his main priority, and he doesn't fancy his chances competing against the best centre-back partnership in the world. Andrea Berta's habit is to probably do financial forensic deep dives into any buying club to fully understand their true negotiating power. He knows that when he's being lowballed with offers, and is often known to tell such clubs to govern yourselves accordingly. Changing our selling reputation will take time and a strong approach. It looks like Andrea Berta is being very firm on the valuation of Jakub Kiwior, a player that still might be available, but Berta wants to ensure that he gets the right level of money. If though Kiwior is allowed to leave, according to reports, Arsenal are still looking to sign a left back, something that has become a bit of an annual tradition, but the fact that Arsenal are on the market is not a surprise. With already the departure of Kieran Tierney, alongside maybe Zinchenko and Kiwior, having seen the recent change in Mikel Arteta's system, using his left-sided fullback as more of an attacking outlet, the idea of also signing another overlapping left-back not only provides Calafiori cover, but it also allows a certain Miles with Skelly to maybe play more in midfield. In terms of the other Arsenal players, according to Florian Plettenberg, Fabio Vieira is still one to watch until deadline day. As his departure from Arsenal is planned, there are numerous inquiries The 25-year-old can play as an attacking midfielder and on the wing. Let's see if Bayern step in, with a move to Stuttgart not seen as realistic. In the case of Arsenal, I do believe we are still on the market, even after making 7 signings. If we can get the right amount of sales out of the door, you wonder if Arsenal will look for another attacking player. Take for example Rodrigo goes Real Madrid, with reports in Brazil confirming that Carlo Ancelotti is set to leave him out of the brand new Brazil squad for the player that could be a massive wake-up call. Your former manager at Real Madrid leaving you out of the Brazil squad, most likely picking a certain Gabriel Martinelli, a player that's always reportedly been on the market, but with no desire to leave Real Madrid. I wonder if a loan could be a possibility, a chance for a player to go elsewhere and get first team minutes. Despite reports linking him to Man City and Arsenal, it's one that we're going to have to wait and see, because for Arsenal fans right now the focus is elsewhere. Despite a resounding 5-0 victory and us being top of the Premier League, all the eyes turn to Bukayo Saka and Martin Odegaard. Eze and Madueke help us quite a lot, but with Saka holding his hamstring and Odegaard holding his shoulder, it may be only match day 2 of the Premier League, but we could already be without Kai Havertz, Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. Let's see if Mikel Arteta was taking precaution and what reports come out in the following days. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of the social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Arsenal 5, Leeds United 0, a resounding performance, a lovely Victor Gyokeres goal, and of course, a Premier League debut for Max Diamond as well. Focus down to Saka and Odegaard, but at least just focus on the positives, because Eberechi Eze is an Arsenal player, my friends. I'll see you next time, take care, and in a bit.